On recording. Starting stream in 3, 2, 1, and live.
Hi everyone, welcome to another wonderful adventure for Batman Athenaeum. How do I even pronounce this? You think we would be set by this many episodes. Anyway, today we have a lot of our new cast members, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear them. This is going to be so cool. We're getting really close to Batman putting on the cowl, so let's finish up his adventures here in Namba Parbat. So, whenever you're ready, Chris, please take us away. Oh wait, everyone should introduce themselves. Sorry. Uh we should go through really quick and everyone say who they're playing. So Chris, you can go first and then we'll start with Adam and go through.
Hi, I'm Chris Sort of Destiny Johnson, and I will be the narrator tonight.
Hi, my name is Adam. Tonight I'm playing. What did you say his name was?
His name is Brecke. He's Commander Brecke.
Commander Brecke.
Hi, I'm Josh, otherwise known as Articulate T. I'm playing White Ghost.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm not playing anything this episode, but next episode I'll be playing Alfred.
Hello, my name is Cade. For this episode, I will be voicing, I believe you pronounce it Tan Lejeune. I may be pronouncing that wrong, though.
Tan Lejeune.
Tan.
Tan Lejeune. There we go.
Tan Lu Jun.
Tan Lejeune.
Yeah, Lu Jun.
Lejeune. Gotcha. Thank you. As always.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Carl, and I'm young Bruce.
Hi, I'm Grant. I'll be playing David Kane.
Hi, my name is James. I will be voicing Huarang.
Hi, I'm Jazzy. I'll be reading for Takeo Yamashiro.
Hello, my name is Kelsey, and I will be reading for Talia al Ghul, not in this episode, but in the next episode.
Hello, I'm Ron, and I'll be voicing Master Dark.
Hi there, I'm Sam, and tonight I'll be playing Deathstroke.
Hi, I am Su Ling, and I am voicing Sandra or Lady Shiba.
Okay.
Go push the dog.
Then now that everyone announced, my dogs also wanted to say they were here. I think we're ready to start. So let's go ahead and start with episode 11, The Valedictorian.
Batman Athenaeum, Episode 11, The Valedictorian by Lucia Lobosvia, based on the works of Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Interior, Temple of Ramakrishna, Labyrinth of Wuchang, inside the maze. Huarang runs through the maze, panting and dodging deadly traps. The walls are closing in on him. He waits until the walls are quite close together and then uses momentum to jump back and forth between the walls and vault himself upwards and over into another part of the maze. He then almost gets hit with a swinging blade, but manages to flatten himself against the wall in time to avoid it. And then hurries out of harm's way. Shuriken has shot at him from the walls, and he spins his bow staff to catch them before they hit him. Hua looks at his staff, with shuriken embedded hard inside of it. He exhales, exhausted, catching his breath as he walks more slowly. As he's doing so, he doesn't notice the trap giving way beneath his feet. Suddenly the floor crumbles and he nearly falls into a pit of spikes. Hua is caught by a hand reaching out for him. He is pulled out by none other than Takeo. Hua smiles in relief.
Brother Takeo, you saved me. Thank you.
Takeo smirks darkly.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Hua's expression changes to one of dread-filled realization. Interior, Temple of Ramakrishna, Labyrinth of Wuchang, inside the maze. Elsewhere. Tan Lujun just got done fending off traps. The sound of a distant scream reaches his ear. Ah!
Brother Huarang.
Tan pulls out his eskrima sticks and hurries towards the direction of the scream. Interior, Temple of Ramakrishna, Labyrinth of Wuchang, inside the maze center. Deathstroke and Bruce stand in the center of the maze, facing one another. Deathstroke is holding Soulbreaker.
Sorry, kid. I have a code. When I take a job, so long as the client pays, I see it through to the end, no matter what.
Someone paid you to kill me.
Yes. Too bad you won't live long enough to find out who or why.
Deathstroke lunges at Bruce, swinging the sword down at him. Bruce barely manages to dodge out of the way, catching a cut on his upper arm. Bruce clutches his injured arm, quickly putting distance between himself and Deathstroke.
Damn, you're fast. Hardly even saw you move.
Deathstroke swings at Bruce again. Bruce barely manages to pull out his daggers in time to block the sword between two of them, holding it in place. Deathstroke keeps the sword in place and swings his leg up to kick Bruce in the side. Then Deathstroke holds the sword with only one hand and uses his other to punch Bruce in the gut, winning him. Bruce coughs, but refuses to relent.
That's some iron will you've got there. Too bad it won't do you any good. There's a reason they call me the Terminator. I'm the best there's ever been.
You sound awfully sure of that.
Bruce wrenches Soulbreaker out of Deathstroke's hands by pushing the daggers in opposite directions, both against the blade. Soulbreaker flies off to the side, clattering onto the floor. Bruce spins the daggers in his hands, cocky.
I humbly disagree.
That was a good one. You've got some skill.
Deathstroke cracks his knuckles and grabs Bruce's wrists, twisting them so he drops the daggers in pain.
But you're still 20 years too early to even have a chance at me.
Deathstroke forces Bruce down to his knees in pain.
But I didn't mean me.
Sandra comes flying into the room, kicking Deathstroke square in the jaw. Deathstroke releases his hold on Bruce, the momentum sending him crashing into the opposite wall from Soulbreaker. Sandra lands on her feet gracefully, then turns to Bruce, putting a hand on her hip.
Honestly, Westerner, I'm starting to think you put yourself in danger on purpose, so I'll come rescue you.
Sandra helps Bruce to his feet.
What can I say, Easterner? I have a weakness for women who could kill me with minimum effort.
Mind your disrespectful tongue before I tear it out.
Deathstroke steps out of the rubble.
Hands off. He's my mark. Someone paid me a lot of money to take him out, and I always deliver. So step out of the way. This doesn't concern you.
Sandra moves to face Deathstroke, bending down to pick Soulbreaker up and pointing it at him.
I'm afraid not. Whatever Quilo conflict the two of you have is no concern of mine. This is true. But you are my mark, Deathstroke the Terminator. You won't be leaving here alive.
Deathstroke frowns, sizing her up.
Big words for such a little girl.
Deathstroke crosses his arms, smirking.
What makes you?
Sandra doesn't wait for him to finish and charges, swinging. Deathstroke barely manages to catch the blade in his hand. The gauntlet he's wearing protects him.
Okay. You're fast. I'll give you that.
Sandra pushes down harder, cutting into the gauntlet and squeezing out a small stream of blood which dribbles down his arm. Deathstroke grimaces.
Ugh, strong, too. Though most of that is the quality and sharpness of the blade. Soulbreaker is too much for you. Let me take it off your hands.
Deathstroke goes after Sandra with a flurry of blows. Sandra dodges and blocks, gracefully dancing, one hand holding Soulbreaker upright in front of her face, blocking blows to her head. Getting frustrated, Deathstroke goes for a 1-2 punch. Sandra throws Soulbreaker up into the air. Sandra blocks Deathstroke's attacks and then twirls back, catching Soulbreaker in time to block a kick with it, cutting into his suit and drawing blood. Deathstroke cries out in anger more than pain. In a feat of raw strength, he grabs the sword by the blade and pulls it out of his leg, then attempts to wrench it out of Sandra's grasp by swinging the blade over his head. But Sandra merely jumps up and follows the sword momentum over Deathstroke's head, flipping forward, grabbing the hilt as she lands on the other side and pulling the sword out of his hand, slicing his gauntlets and palms open.
What is wrong, Terminator? 20 years too late to have a chance at me?
Deathstroke wipes his bloodied hands on his own suit. The wounds on his hand, his palms, close up. That healing factor of his.
You're a natural, kid. I don't know if there's another person in the world that could do what you just did to me. But as intrigued as I am, I'm a professional. I have a job to do, and you're not it.
This enrages Deathstroke. He spies Bruce hovering nearby and lunges for him instead, holding one of Bruce's own daggers up to his throat.
Howard, face me like a man. Don't hide behind some lost boy out of his depth.
Hey!
Sorry to disappoint. Like I said, I have a code. You can still walk away with your life. I have no quarrel with you. Say your goodbyes, kid.
Sandra,
Oh, shut up, Bruce. For once, just shut up.
Sandra throws Soulbreaker at Deathstroke's face. He throws Bruce aside to catch the sword between his hands, mere centimeters from the eye of his mask.
Nicely done! What aim, what courage! Too bad you didn't take my offer. I would have liked to get to know you a little better. But you've delayed my job long enough. And like a sentimental fool, you've thrown away your weapon.
Deathstroke points Soulbreaker at Sandra.
Which means you're done for.
Deathstroke slowly walks towards Sandra.
Easterner!
Bruce runs at Deathstroke, but Deathstroke deftly hits Bruce in the gut with the pommel of the sword, dropping Bruce to his knees. Deathstroke walks right up to Sandra and punches her in the face, then the stomach, then the other side of her face, sending her to the ground doubled over in pain. Deathstroke holds the blade to her neck like an executioner.
Any last words?
You're wrong.
Sandra looks up at Deathstroke defiantly.
Am I?
Soulbreaker was never my weapon.
Deathstroke looks at her in confusion, but lifts the blade to finish the job. Sandra takes a deep breath, focused, and throws up two fingers. So fast the eye can scarcely follow, she hits the side of the blade in every weak point until it snaps clean off the hilt, the blade flying off and embedding into a wall. Deathstroke stares at the bladeless hilt in shock and confusion. Sandra rises to her feet, head held high.
I am the weapon.
She kicks up. Her leg kicks the hilt out of Deathstroke's grip on the way up, then on the way down kicks Deathstroke in the head. Sandra then pursues Deathstroke with a series of spin kicks. He can barely keep up blocking them. Eventually, he manages to catch one of her legs. Sandra uses that to anchor herself and kicks off his chest with her other leg and repeatedly. A sickening crunch shows she's cracked some ribs, and he releases Sandra, who lands effortlessly. Deathstroke pants, taking a knee, holding his side, coughing.
You. Who are you?
Sandra straightens.
My name is Chuo Chang Wu San. I am one half that never shall be whole again. Just like you.
Deathstroke's eyes widens as he recognizes those words. He looks up at her.
My twin porcelain doll. How you've grown.
Tell me where Jade is, or I'll rip out your other eye, just as I did the first.
He smirks, then laughs.
You give yourself far too much credit. Such hubris. Not very becoming of a student of Master Dark.
What are you saying?
Deathstroke stands, popping his ribs back into place and letting them restitch themselves. He then cracks his neck and rolls his shoulders, and removes his mask.
You think you're the reason I'm wearing this patch? Maybe you should try and remember again.
He points to the eye covered with the patch. It's on his right-hand side. Interior. Sandra's old village. Deathstroke's room. Past. Young Sandra drives Soulbreaker through Deathstroke's left eye. Interior. Sandra and Maylin's apartment. Past. Deathstroke's eye patch is over his right eye. Interior. Temple of Ramakrishna. Labyrinth of Wuchang. Inside the maze. Center. Deathstroke moves his hand to point to the pristine eye on his left. Sandra's eyes widen in shock.
No. How is this possible? I cut out your left eye. This can't be real. This is some trick.
Oh, it's real, all right. It's true. My healing factor didn't kick in to patch up that injury like it should have. I couldn't understand it. The demon's head believed it was due to some divine punishment, but I've never been a God-fearing man, so that explanation never satisfied. Turns out, healing is a process that happens at the command center of the brain, and it's crazy what your own subconscious can do to strengthen or impede that process.
Sandra takes a couple steps back, shaken. She clumsily trips over Bruce, falling down beside him. Bruce puts a hand on her shoulder, steadying her.
I got you.
Turns out the old bastard may have been right, in his own way. Even excuse me, even knew I'd crossed the line that night. I couldn't heal because of my own guilt. A feeling I'm not well acquainted with. But I did as I was instructed. I returned here, to Nanda Parbat, back to the temple of Ramakrishna and my old master. For my indiscretion, I was rewarded with the pit of 1,000 deaths. There, I was forced to confront the darkest depths of my own soul. And when I at last clawed my way out, I had made peace with my mistake, and so my left eye had completely healed.
But then...
Deathstroke touches the eye patch on his right eye.
Oh, this one? This one will never heal. But it's better that way. I choose to keep this injury to remind me there are some crimes even I can't forgive.
Then why? If your eye was healed, why did you come after us? Why did you kill my sister? Why did you take Jade?
I paid the price for what I did to you. But you and your sister were never punished for what you did to me. The demons had even rewarded you. I deserved recompense.
Are you that selfish? That cruel? We were children.
You were old enough to kill.
Deathstroke grabs Sandra by the shirt and hoists her up to face him.
That makes you old enough to die.
But why take Jade? She was only a baby. She never hurt anyone.
Oh yes, I'd almost forgotten about that. Honestly, I hardly remember now. It was done on a whim. You'd impressed me with your fighting skill. I thought it was a shame to see you wasting your life in poverty. I wanted to motivate you. Lit a fire under your ass so you could reach your full potential. Kane did say your sister was holding you back. Looks like I liberated you.
What have you done with her?
Relax.
Deathstroke lets her go, letting her stand on her own 2 feet.
I never laid a hand on the child. I have a daughter close to her age. I left them both with my servant, Wintergreen.
Where are they now?
Wintergreen and my daughter? Back in the States. Your niece? No idea. The League came and took her from Wintergreen. You'd have to ask the Demon's Head yourself.
Bastard.
Bruce stands shakily, reaching for Sandra's hand, but misses.
Sandra.
You miserable bastard!
Sandra lunges at Deathstroke. The two of them clash in a display of high-level martial arts. No weapons in the way. No more underestimating each other. Finally, Deathstroke catches Sandra by the throat and slams her against the wall, squeezing.
Now doesn't this feel familiar? For all your speed, for all your skill, for all your instinct and intuition, you are still no match for my raw strength.
Deathstroke chokes suddenly, and his mouth overflows with blood. He looks down. Sandra has stabbed him with one of Bruce's daggers. We see a quick flash of earlier when Sandra fell to the ground beside Bruce. She took that opportunity to scoop up a dagger and hide it in her sleeve. Deathstroke looks at Sandra in shock. He releases her. Sandra falls down on one knee, clutching her throat. Deathstroke staggers back and collapses onto the ground, unconscious, in a pool of his own blood. Sandra pants, trembling. Bruce hurries over to her side, helping her stand.
Are you okay?
Sandra waves him off.
I'm fine. Don't fuss.
Is he dead?
Not yet. He's still breathing.
Sandra sees Soulbreaker's blade embedded in the wall near her. She grabs the blade and pulls it out of the wall, then turns to Deathstroke.
But not for long.
Sandra walks over to Deathstroke to finish him off, but Bruce stands in front of her.
Don't.
Why shouldn't I?
Because it's wrong.
This man is a killer.
But you're not.
You know nothing of me. You, with your life of luxury and comfort, presume to judge me? I'm going to kill him. And if you get in my way, I'll kill you too.
You can't.
Who is going to stop me? You? You can't.
I know. But I'm asking you, pleading with you. Don't let him decide what you become. He's not worth it. Please.
Sandra looks at Bruce in frustration. Tan Lejun enters suddenly, dragging a tied-up Takeo behind him.
Brother Bruce? Sister Cho Chang?
Tan Lujan, what are you doing? What's going on?
Brother Hua Rong is dead.
Bruce and Sandra react in shock.
How?
You didn't. Traitorous snake.
Your judgment means nothing to me. Hua Rong met his end due to his own weakness. I have no regrets.
I think it best I keep him restrained and deliver him to our master myself. For everyone's sake. Sister Cho Chang, may I request your assistance carrying Brother Hua Rong's body out of the labyrinth? He deserves a proper burial.
Sandra nods.
Point me in his direction.
Tan Lejun points the way for Sandra and she heads off. Tan Lejun then turns to Bruce.
Is that?
Deathstroke the Terminator.
Is he dead?
Deathstroke coughs suddenly, wheezing, but still not waking.
Apparently not.
Tan Lejun reaches into his robes and pulls out a spool of cord. He tosses the spool to Bruce, who catches it.
Here. It's what I used to restrain Brother Takeo. It might be wise to act before he wakes.
Right. Thanks.
Tan Lejun exits with Takeo. Bruce places Deathstroke in the corner, propping him up as he ties him up with the cord. Sandra returns in the meantime, carrying Hwarong's body. She has removed the top of her gi to wrap his upper body in, hiding his face respectfully.
Let's go. The longer we wait, the longer his soul awaits eternal rest.
Go on ahead. I'll make sure he won't immediately come after us and kill us. At least not until we can get a head start.
Right.
Sandra turns to go. She pauses at the exit, looking back at Deathstroke one last time. A murderous anger inside of her.
Sandra?
Do you remember what I told you about the nail that stands up getting hammered down? You must do me one favor.
Anything. It's the least I could do after everything you've done for me.
Never tell anyone what I did here. When you recount this story, remember it was you who defeated Deathstroke the Terminator.
But you deserve the credit. I didn't stand a chance.
Did you not hear me? No one must ever know. It is of the utmost importance. Please.
Bruce frowns, not feeling good about this, but finally relents.
If that's what you want, Sandra. I promise.
Sandra sighs and goes. Bruce finishes tying up Deathstroke and stands. He stops to pick up the pieces of Soulbreaker and Deathstroke's mask. Interior, Temple of Ramakrishna, Labyrinth of Wuchang, outside the maze. Master Dark waits for the victor, surrounded by his servants, the monks, and David Kane.
How much longer does this usually take?
Patience, envoy. Your master is not fond of undisciplined complaining.
David Kane crosses his arms.
My master is even less fond of having his time wasted. Why hire Deathstroke to finish off the Westerner for you if he's going to get himself lost in the maze?
Perhaps he is biding his time, as should you.
Perhaps he was overconfident and got lost.
Master, someone's coming.
Slade?
Tan Lujun exits first, lugging the bound-up Takeo Yamashiro with him.
Tan Lujun!
Tan drops Takeo at Master Dark's feet and then lowers himself to his knees, bowing respectfully.
Master, I bring you my wayward brother who slayed another.
Huh. So this is our valedictorian? Exactly who you favored. Gotta admit, the Demon's Head will be disappointed with such an anticlimactic ending.
Forgive me, but I was not the first one through the maze. Sister Cho Chang went back to retrieve Brother Hua Rong's body.
As if on cue, Sandra exits, carrying Hua's body.
The woman?
Ha! Well, now this is a little more interesting.
Sandra goes to Master Dark and lays Huarong at his feet, then respectfully bows.
Master, I bring you the body of my fallen brother, slain by Takeo. May Huarang be respectfully buried, that his soul may rest in peace.
Dark frowns, hard.
Then you are my valedictorian?
I am humbled by your generous question, my master. No, I am not. There was another ahead of me in the maze.
Bruce exits, carrying Deathstroke's mask and the broken Soulbreaker. Everyone murmurs in surprise.
Impossible. The Terminator should have killed you.
Bruce glares at Dark and then throws Deathstroke's mask to his feet, disrespectfully. Everyone gasps in shock.
Here's what I think of your legendary assassin.
The hall is dead silent. David Kane breaks the attention, laughing.
Oh, now that is too rich. I think the Demon's Head will be most amused by this conclusion. So, where'd you leave his body?
Inside.
Dark gestures and orders for the monks to fetch Deathstroke's corpse.
去看一看。
The monks begin to go.
I'd hold off if I were you. He's in a bad mood.
Then he's alive?
Injured, restrained, but yes, alive.
Bruce then pulls out the pieces of Soulbreaker and drops them in front of Takeo.
Here's your precious sword where you were willing to kill for a good man for. Nothing but a worthless trinket. Hope it was worth it.
No. You. What have you done? Soulbreaker was irreplaceable! Accursed Gaijin!
Huarong was irreplaceable.
Brother Bruce.
No, I've had enough. Enough of this life-threatening tests, enough of the hypocritical rules, enough of the senseless death and pit amongst us. One another all for sick amusement from one twisted old man.
Bruce points at Master Dark.
I'm your valedictorian. The Westerner, the boastful, insolent, spoiled rich boy from the other side of the world. I defeated your champion. I made it through your labyrinth first, and I came out with Soulbreaker. Do you grant me my title, or do I have to go Or is there some other last-minute obstacle you want to throw in my path to prevent me to an outcome that I cannot tolerate?
Dark breathes slowly, rage simmering at this blatant disrespect.
You must want very badly to die, Westerner.
I want to leave this place whichever means necessary.
He's got you there, Dark. You cheated. You stacked the deck against him. You played every dirty trick in the book. And he still won! Give the kid his prize. You know how much the Demon's Head hates a sore loser. He finds it dishonorable.
Everyone murmurs. Dark looks around, wild-eyed, at his followers. He knows he's cornered.
Very well. My 3 graduating pupils, rise and receive your new names. Stand, Tan Lujun.
Tan stands, bowing respectfully.
Tan Lujun, for your grace, your respect for the divine, and adaptability to any situation, I grant you the title of the Ancient Book of Changes. I hereby name you Yi Qing.
The monks shower Yi Chung with wreaths and gifts and present him with a medallion with his new name written in Mandarin.
Thank you, Master. I gratefully accept.
Stand, Zuozhang Wusan, or as you are also known, Sandra.
Sandra stands, bowing.
Zuozhang Wusan, in all my years, I have never come across a pupil quite like you. A woman you may be, but let no man be fooled. You transcend your mortal form and have become destruction incarnate. As such, I grant you the title of the Auspicious Destroyer. I hereby name you Lady Shiva.
The monks shower Shiva with wreaths and gifts and present her with a medallion with her new name written in Mandarin.
Thank you, Master. I am honored to accept.
Takeo Yamashiro.
What are you staring at? Untie me! The master wishes me to stand!
No, you may stay where you are, on the floor with the filth. I grant you no title, nor do I give you the escape of an honorable death. Instead, you are to return to your family in shame, carrying the mark of failure.
Can't be. You would honor an outsider before a son of the noble Yamashiro clan? My family guarded Soul Taker and Soul Breaker for generations! You can't do this!
Remove him from my sight.
The monks pick up Takeo and lug him out as he struggles.
You're going to regret not killing me when you had the chance, old man! Mark my words! You'll rue the day!
The monks toss him out and slam the door behind Takeo.
Ow.
Dark turns back to Bruce, none too happy.
Bruce Wayne, my valedictorian, the insolent Westerner. I should have your head.
I wouldn't recommend it. The Demon's Head is gonna want to meet the kid who took out Deathstroke. Hell! I even want to shake his hand.
Enough, Kane.
Dark looks at Bruce in the eye.
Traveler from the Americas, far away from home. Yet you conquered a man known for his killing strike. An assassin that should have been as undefeatable as death itself.
Bruce glances at Shiva out of the corner of his eye, but says nothing.
You have become the night. Shadows and darkness are your home. Every sacrifice you have made, every one you have witnessed, has only sustained you. For all your objections to killing, you feed off of death all the same. Therefore, I grant you the title of a god from your own lands, stolen by your ancestors. A god of the night. A god of sacrifice. A god of death. It takes the form of a creature you fear, and may you carry your sins and your pain with you until the day you embrace the release of death yourself. I hereby name you Kamazotz.
Hamazotz. What?
The monks shower Bruce with wreaths and gifts and present him with a medallion with his new name written in Mandarin. As he's valedictorian, Dark begrudgingly bows to Bruce. Bruce stares at him in shock. Shiva clears her throat pointedly. Bruce catches on and bows back.
I I accept.
Great. Now get the hell out of my house, sick men.
Exterior Temple of Ramakrishna. Bruce and David Kane stand outside of the temple. The doors get slammed shut on them. Bruce stands there in confusion, then looks down at his gifts and accolades. David Kane suddenly claps a hand on his shoulder.
Did you see the look on the old master's face? Ha! I've never seen him so out of his mind with impudent rage. Oh, the demon's head is going to be pleased with you.
That's it. After all that, they gave me the name of some Mesopotamian god, and I've never heard of, but I know it's Mesopotamian, and then they kick me out?
Kid, you just did not one, not two, but 5 impossible things, minimum. All while being a foreigner. Some they can't stand around here. And it's still not enough for you?
I didn't even get to say goodbye to Sandra.
Lady Shiva. You use her new name now, unless she says otherwise. Don't
Oh.
disrespect what she's earned.
Oh.
I know it stings. We've all been there when it comes to women. Hell, even Deathstroke. You see that eye patch on him?
David Kane mimes getting shot in the eye, making the sound effects crudely and laughing.
That was his ex-wife.
What?
Oh, they were still married at the time, if I'm remembering right.
The hell is wrong with everyone in this place?
I tried to tell you. There's a reason so few people ever find Nanba Parbat. And even fewer ever return.
Can we please just leave this godforsaken temple and go anywhere, as long as it's not here?
We've got a train to catch back. Here's your passport, Mateo Malone.
David Kane hands Bruce his passport.
More false names, secret identities, lies, betrayals and schemes. I'm so tired of...
You can sleep on the train. Look alive. You gotta make it down the mountain first.
David Kane walks off. Bruce sighs but follows, tucking his passport away. Exterior, Nepal. City of Lalitpur, Batan Durbar Square. Lady Shiva walks through the square, wearing a straw hat to block out the sun and a scarf to conceal the bottom of her face. She approaches a street food vendor and holds up 4 fingers.
Four? This is a bad omen. Can I get your 3 or 5 instead?
Shiva pulls the scarf down from her face and raises her head so she can see her eyes beneath her hat.
No, thank you. I will have 4. No more, no less. I can make it worth your while.
Shiva offers him several gold coins. The vendor forces on a smile despite his nerves and does as he's told.
Yes, of course.
The vendor prepares and then places the dumplings in a paper wrapper, handing them to her. Shiva hands him the coins and then eats her first dumpling.
Very generous of you, ma'am. Your husband must be quite wealthy.
I have no husband.
She pops a second dumpling into her mouth.
I meant no disrespect. Your father, then, miss?
No father, either.
She eats a third dumpling.
It's quite a lot of money for a handful of dumplings. Forgive me for asking, but who are you?
Shiva looks back at him darkly, reveling in her new identity.
The auspicious destroyer. I am Lady Shiva.
She finishes her last dumpling and discards the paper, walking away as the vendor clutches his chest in terror, white as a sheet. Shiva adjusts her hat over her eyes as she disappears back into the crowd, grinning to herself, holding her scarf at her chin.
East is east, west is west. Never shall the two meet. Life is life, death is death. Be you pauper or prince, we all meet the same end. There are some truths that none can escape, some mountains that can never be moved, not by men. But I am no man.
She whips off her scarf and hat, letting her hair flow long and loose in the light of the sun, unhidden and unafraid.
And thus, Lady Shiva finished her arc. Yay! The real protagonist is done. Batman Athenaeum can end right here.
Guys, I gotta
Like,
say,
One big game.
Why continue at this
Yeah.
point?
we've been really good
now,
about
now Lady
scripts.
Shiva can kill people across the countryside till the end of time.
We've been really good about scripts, but I think this was the smoothest read we've had.
It was. It was
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Everyone was
Definitely.
excited.
So clearly 12, we have to make it a train wreck.
Oh God! No!
Oh my
God!
god!
Now we're doing
Oh my
so
god,
well.
don't do that. That's terrible.
Everyone was amazing. Thank you so much for everyone in their first time in the roles. Everyone who filled in. It was phenomenal. I had a great time. I hope you all enjoyed the fight. I don't know
Alan!
the fact that she was blocking the sword or blocking his moves with the sword, and she was holding it in front of her face at that point. She was looking for weak points really early on in the fight. So when Deathstroke swings it down at her, she already knows exactly where to hit. So that was why she was doing that in the beginning.
Little details.
She's a badass.
Yep.
Nice.
Because Lady Shiva is a badass. So welcome, Alan. We just finished the episode.
No.
Sorry.
Well, my voice is fucked anyways.
That's
So,
okay. Rest
so
it.
I just came here to say what's up. So, yeah.
Hello. Ron filled in for you.
Yay.
He was
Yay.
amazing, but we
Feel
also
better
missed you because
soon.
you can't be replaced, Alan. So
Yeah, I know. I don't think you want to hear me sound like this all day. So
I don't know.
I'm good.
Kind of funny.
Did I
to have
not
Mr.
give you
Darcy,
enough
like,
tea and
get
honey?
the fuck out of my house.
No, I don't think there's enough tea and honey in your apartment, Grant, to save my voice. So yeah.
Fair enough.
We still live, or did we temporarily?
We're
pause
still
the
live.
stream?
I'm gonna go head off right now.
So
Oh.
I think we can go ahead and take what you guys want to do, like a 10-minute break, so everyone can pee,
Yeah.
drink water.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay,
All
then
right,
I'm gonna go
so
ahead and end. Okay.
Take a
Thank you,
10-minute
Ken.
break, and we will be back.